Hang on. Did you start it already? Did you start it already?
Go.
Okay, students. Sorry, excuse me. Hang on a minute. All of a sudden, get on the camera and I start choking. Anyways, what we're going to be talking about today in this entire video is going to have everything to do about color and how it happens. It's the thing is, it's extremely difficult to understand about hair color or makeup color if you don't know how it happens, what the combinations are to create the effects that you want. So having a good understanding about how color happens becomes extreme. The entire world, including you, me, everything that you see is created by only 3 colors. Let me give you the history on that, the history about how color happens. It's so important that you learn this before you start working with product. Understand that the product companies have already mixed stuff together. They've already mixed these colors together to create hair color. And you're going to put it on a client's naturally colored hair, which are pigments. Oh, sorry. Let me just turn this off. I apologize. Let me turn my phone off real quick. Okay. Teaching a class, turning my phone off right now.
What are you doing?
Teaching a class, bye.
Bye.
Sorry, that's called family. Okay, hang on. I'm wasting time doing this. Power off. Okay, anyways, I'm sorry. And that's just family, life in general. Okay, so when color first came about in this universe, there was no color. The creation of color comes from this planet. When color first happened, there was no color. It was but a mist. I read that in one of my favorite books. And then there was a white light. The white light is what created all these colors, believe it or not. The thing about white, let me talk to you about the color white real quick. The color white is color. And the mistake that's made is so many, every color company is going to tell you that it's a neutral or a non-color. And they say that about the color black too. It is not real. It is not, it's a neutral, non-color. And those are totally false. That's false information about color. For instance, if the color white was truly a non-color, then why is it when I have a cup of coffee and I put cream in it, it gets lighter? If white had no pigment in it, it would not do anything. Just as when I put water into my cup of coffee, it does nothing. It stays dark, stays the same. So what has no pigment is water, but white itself does have pigment. And we learn to make white. I mean, that's how you create the platinum colors in hair color. But if you don't know how it happens, if you don't know how it comes together, how are you going to do it? Let me give you just a story right now. A wedding dress. The first primary color comes from the color white. And normally wedding dresses are white. So you have this wedding dress and you had this wonderful wedding and everything was beautiful. Everything was perfect. All weddings are perfect. And so now 5 years later, you've had 2 children and you still look really good. And you figure, you know what, I'm going to go get my wedding dress. It's my anniversary and I'm going to put it on and my husband can come home from work and see me again in my wedding dress. So you go up to the closet, you get that dress out of the airtight bag from the dark closet, you unzip it, and what has happened to it? It's yellowed. Yellow cannot be yellow without white. Cameraman, are you catching this or are you looking at your watch? Okay, so yellow cannot be yellow without white. Yellow is white. Yellow came from white to be yellow. So white is the creation of color. So yellow Your dress has yellowed. Where could that come from? It was in a dark closet. It was in an airtight bag. And that's just a natural process of the first, number one, primary color. Primary means number one. That yellow can increase in pigment. But before I increase the pigment in that yellow, let me tell you about a personality character about the color yellow. The color yellow, the personality character, this is what yellow does. It grabs, but it lets go. So when we take somebody up to yellow, we have taken strength out of what is a natural color. And you'll understand that in a few minutes. So yellow grabs, but it lets go. It's up to you to know what to do to keep it in there. So yellow, however, does get stronger. Yellow grows up to become red, which is the next number one primary color. Red cannot be red without yellow. Red is yellow. And look at all the different shades of red as it increases. Now this is yellow and then it goes into orange. When it goes into orange, yellow and red make orange. These are the primary colors. When you combine two of them, it becomes a secondary color. So 1 and 1 makes 2. 1 and 1 makes 2. One grows up to become the other, to become red. Red cannot be red without yellow. Red is yellow. Red came from yellow to be red. Red is actually yellow and white. Red and yellow make orange. Red and white make pink. Right there. A lighter shade of red becomes pink. And you have to add white to get it there. If it fades up, it may fade up into the pink, and it may fade up into white, depending on the strength of that red that you put together. Now that's not going to happen with hair color. We're just talking about color right now. Combining color with hair color has a whole different formula. So we have yellow. We have red. These are the two primary colors. Number one, these two primary colors combined create yellow. They're going to create orange, sorry. Yellow and red create orange. And then you can see all the different shades of red as it becomes darker. When it becomes darker, when red becomes darker, it becomes stronger. When red becomes stronger, the personality character of red states, it will grab and hold on. You do not want to spill red color, red Kool-Aid, red juice, whatever, on a white carpet or a white sofa, because it is now what? Stained. You are stained by the red. Red grabs and holds on. You have to know how to remove it. It takes knowledge and knowing a whole lot about color to remove it. And it's not going to be easy. There's always going to be that slight stain that you're going to see in there. Red grows up to become stronger. Red grows up to become blue. Blue cannot be blue without red and yellow. Blue is red and yellow. Blue will always fade to violet, which is, let me see, I've got it right here. Blue will fade to violet. Blue and red make violet. So it lets you know that that's there with it. It can't be blue without red and yellow. Blue is red and yellow. It's just become stronger. Blue, personality character of it. There's all your violet tones. So blue and red, in the lightest to the darkest, becomes purple or violet. So normally we call this violet and this purple. And it's the same down here, lighter to darker. Depends on the strength. Strength causes resistance. The thing about blue, the personality character of blue, states that it guards and protects. But it's the first to leave, and it's what's underneath, what strength is underneath, that determines the longevity of whatever we do to our hair. So blue is the guard, it's the protector. So let's go over this again. Yellow grabs, but lets go. Red grabs and holds on, doesn't let go, wants to stay, wants to be there. Blue protects, covers the red, but depending on the strength of that blue, it moves aside, and it's what's underneath that you're going to have to deal with when things fade. Now yellow and blue, so we've got primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. One comes from the other to be the other. These colors, by the way, are the only colors in the entire universe. Sorry, cameraman just about lost it. They're the only colors in the entire universe. Anything you look at, from the sky, from daylight to nighttime, from furniture, from skin color, they're all created by these three colors only. We are created by these three colors. The primary, number one, and it is 3. So it's the same. Yellow and blue create the color green. And you can see from the lightest to the darkest. This has more yellow in it. This has more blue in it. It depends on what you want. The very, very interesting fact, however, and I'm going to put up formulas in just a little bit, the very interesting fact about this is that if you mix red and green, you're going to get brown, black, gray, or white, depending on how dark they are. And by the way, gray is the hardest to make. You have to know how to make gray. You're more likely to get brown. And if you use the darker levels of these two colors, you're very likely to get black. But are we dependent, even if we go and pick up watercolors to do this, to get those colors? We're dependent on the product that we use. It's the same thing with hair color. You're dependent on the product that you use. But knowing what they create, knowing what happens with these combinations is what makes you a hair colorist. Someone that knows how to do color. Surprisingly enough, yellow and violet make brown, black, white, or gray, depending again how much you use. These are the laws of color. Normally in hair color in a salon, we have what's called a color wheel. The color wheel dictates and puts the yellow directly across from the violet, and they call them complementary colors. They complement each other. And when you talk to a product companies, they're going to tell you that they cancel each other. What does the word cancel mean to you? Does the word cancel mean, or they say it's going to neutralize it? Neutralize it almost means killing it off, doesn't it? Cancel means like canceling a debt, it's gone. Which in fact, that is the big lie about hair color. When you combine these two, it will create a color. It will make brown, black, white, or gray, depending on how dark or how light they are. When you combine blue and orange, now my orange is down here, same thing. So again, the 3 to make 1, to create the colors that you need. Now, what happens, I'm going to take these down real quick. I want to put these up. Actually, I'm just going to put them up on top here. Excuse my back. Here's the grays. As soon as I can pull that open. Here's the gray. So let's move this. And this is just pretty much going to be a lecture class, but it is going to give you tons of information about color and how it happens. Let me get the browns. And there's some blacks in here too, by the way. Again, how they're made. How do you create these colors? It's fascinating when I go to a paint store and they can always get them because they've got the formulas. They know what was in those containers before we asked for what we wanted. They know the color combinations it takes to get what we want. Again, excuse my back. I'm going to put some of the browns down here for you. So I've got the darker on top. It's got a few light ones up there. But these are going to be what we would call the blonde colors. Let's see if I can get it to stay. It doesn't want to cooperate. There you go. And I keep dropping them. I have to bend down to get it. Okay. These are just those little snap things on there. Okay, so here we've got the browns. From the lightest, look at all the different tones. Once you understand color, you understand that these on top have more yellow in them. You understand as they become a little darker, they've got more gold or red. Gold has red in it. Gold is orange. So that tone of that becomes a little darker. And then you start getting the warmer into the definitely darker ones, the different hues. What do you see when you see it? When I'm teaching my students and they say, well, it is a dark brown. I say, okay, give me a word for the dark. Are we talking a dark red brown? Is that a red brown that's dark to you? Or is it a blue brown that's dark to you? What shade is it? Is it a red violet brown? That is the word dark. So these are all color combinations that we learn in hair color to determine what to do when we change a color. And I'm going to bring this one up here. That one just fell. I'm not going to worry about it. So here's your gray colors. You can see all the grays and into the browns. Finally, the darker grays into the black. And then you have a gray brown. So the whole thing in this states that every single color we see, no matter what, is created by all three primary colors: yellow, red, and blue. Secondary colors, 1 and 1, orange. Yellow and red make orange. Yellow and blue make green. Red and blue make violet. But when you combine all three, you're going to end up with these colors right here, from gray to black. And it never, ever changes. It's important that you develop an eye for color. Develop the structure on how color happens, what it does to be what it is. How did it come together? What I've done is I've asked my students to go to the hardware store, and I was talking to one today and she said, well, do you have to pay for them? And I said, no, you just get them. But one thing you have to do, I just don't know what color I want to do my room. They have no idea that my students are getting these, so they can now learn color. The thing about product is, it's like I said, it's already mixed up. It's already done. There's factors in color product. But you've got to know how to put it together to get it, to make it work for you. Okay, cameraman, how much time do I have?
11 minutes.
11 minutes, okay. So what I'm gonna do now is 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and I'm going to put the 2 and 1 over here. That's it. It should be in a row all the way down. So this is kind of a makeshift. So a level 12, if you go to the beauty supply, you're going to see that the 12s are the lightest. Blonde. Or almost white in color. You're going to see it very, very pale. And then the level 11 is going to be a light. blonde. What does the word lightest mean? Okay, white, blonde. Finally, you're going to have a yellow blonde. Finally, that pigment has grown from white to yellow. It becomes more. Then we have a yellow, my pen is writing better now, gold.
Was
Can you see it all right?
barely.
Okay. That's yellow gold. Let me hold my pen just right so you can see it. And then on the level 8, you're going to see gold. Now let me show you something about this right here. This is yellow. This is yellow gold. Yellow gold. Yellow and red make gold. Period. Doesn't change. Once you learn to recognize these formulas, you'll already see it in your brain. Finally, we haven't weakened it anymore. We've strengthened it by making it yellow plus red. Now my students got a copy of this. You can be writing it down if you want to learn this, because I know you can't see it that well. We're trying. But this is meant, we're on the pandemic right now. I'm teaching from home. But if it gets out to you, this will help you understand and learn color a whole lot more. And have a good idea about it. Okay, number 7. So we went from gold. Remember, we're increasing in strength. Remember, it started with yellow. Yellow increased to become what? Red. Finally, we get that first level of red in here. Right here. And then here. It becomes more. And then finally, red gold. So we've increased from yellow gold now. Number 7 is red gold. And that formula is red, yellow plus red again. We are increasing. The number 12, 11, 10, 9, 8 means a color that is lifted off. So 12 levels of color have lifted off to what the last color is going to be to become the lightest blonde. Number 6 is red. Number 5, red brown. Number 4, brown. Number 3, blue brown. I know this isn't exact. We're going to do this again. I'll have it set up for you so that it'll be much cleaner and much darker on our next video. Number 2 becomes black. Number 1 is blue-black. Okay, so what I want you to see here, we have increased from yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a line there. This is the yellow area. More yellow pigmentation. 8, 7, 6, 5. This is the red area. Red. Now we finally got our first area of blue, because you cannot have brown. So I'm just going to use, we call it universal brown, red and green. Red, yellow plus blue. All 3 primary colors make the color brown, black, white, or gray. Red, brown. Red and green make brown. So I'm going to add another level of red in there. Red, red, green. That's where we know it's brown by red and green, and we've increased it by red. Red, brown. It becomes simple when you see it that way. Now we've become brown. Now blue-brown. Blue plus red and green. And we just use this as a universal one just to keep the formulas the same, but basically it's all 3 primaries. Just depends on what you put in there. So we know we've added red to green, but what if we add green to red? It's still going to be brown, but it's going to be a little bit more ashy brown. Black. Okay, I'm going to put these formulas over here for the number 2. All right? So we just had blue, brown, black. Black, number 2, level 2, you'll see it at the beauty supply. Level 2 is capital letters, blue, red, and yellow. Blue, red, and yellow. Blue, red, violet, darkest shade of red. Yellow, green, darkest shade of green, of yellow, I'm sorry. Darkest shade of yellow is yellow, green. That will make the color black. If you have a dark blue, red, violet, and darkest shade of yellow, which is yellow, green. Blue, black, we just add more black to it, more blue to it, I'm sorry. So the number 1 black is a true, look at all the blues in there. It's darker. Blue is still, whether it's a pastel or whether it's a dark color, blue is still darker than yellow. Doesn't matter. It still has a different tone to it, a different value to it. So you understanding these formulas, and like I said, we'll have them written up a lot better on the next video, but I want you to know that everything, and by the way, I want to add something here. The 3 colors, the 3 primary colors are not made, they're not manufactured. You can't just go and get them unless you want to take it from the dirt, unless you want to take it from rocks, unless you want to take it from some plants, unless you want to take it from mud. That's where we get our colors, 3 primary colors from. I would love to see a movie on, you remember that show that used to be How It's Made? I would love to see somebody put a show on how it's made, on how the primary colors are made from rocks. They come from the earth. And if you draw a picture of a person, you're going to use those 3 primary colors on that tone of skin color. So it doesn't matter what skin color we are or what color our eyes are, doesn't matter. We're all made from yellow, red, and blue. Does not change, stays the same. Knowing everything about those colors, yellow grabs and holds and lets go. Red grabs and holds on. Blue guards, protects, covers, but is the first to step aside. And it's what's underneath these colors that determines the choices you're going to make to what you're going to do with the hair color, makeup color, even down to your clothing color to match who you are. Like I said, this was just theory, kind of poorly done, but I hope you have it. I hope you get it. I hope you understand it. Just take your time with it, review it, and listen to the words. Listen to what has been told to you about color. By the way, gray is created by the 3 primary colors, unequal amounts. You have to know how to make gray because you're likely going to get brown. So somebody comes up to you and says, it's okay, it's a gray area, run. You have to know how to make it. They know what they're doing. White, created by all 3 primary colors in the lightest form. We always lift to yellow and tone with violet, which is what? Violet is lavender, red and blue. All 3 primaries again. So nothing changes. Tertiary colors, change tone, that's it. We're going to cover more of this. Thank you so much. Have a great day.